Mm.
Definitely like to see him. He's certainly not like the greatest of players or anything, but I do like to see his play. Like sometimes he surprises you. You know, he's like
Mm-hmm.
a player like Hyuk or something. Like sometimes they just play fucking amazing and just like destroy someone, but sometimes they just like can't out micro them and fall apart or something. Yeah. But yeah, I might have to try that game.
Give it a go, man.
I
I love it.
I'll tell you what. I'll try and give it a go, and then after I've had a chance to give it a go, I'll talk to you about it, and you can
Mhm.
show me your base, and I'll like have some understanding of what the fuck your base is by the time I've played it.
Yeah, put like 10 hours into it and then take a look. It'll be funny. Let me see. How much time do I have in this game? I'm at, oh fuck, 220 hours already. Jesus.
Well, damn. You've been playing that to death.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good time. Where is the streamer mode? Oh, here.
Gonna make your girl jealous of it.
Yeah, she's very chill.
Nice.
Yeah, she's very understanding. I'm lucky. She gives me lots of space to do my Brood War content and game and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about her, but from everything you have told me, she seems like a fucking catch, dude.
Yeah, we get along great. Just try not to abuse the good situation. Do my best to spend time. Don't like only play video games, you know what I mean? Just like
yeah, man, you got to put in
touch off on
the
my
date
responsibilities.
night. Yeah, the date night and the conversations and the attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the little things that add up that make the difference as well. Like,
yeah.
as long as she feels like you give a shit and you care and you're listening to her and shit, like, yeah, she'll be pretty chill.
Exactly. All right.
Oh, I gotta plug this shit.
I'm ready. Are you ready? I can't hear you, by the way, if you're talking.
Oh, I have my headset off. Yeah, I'm pretty much ready.
Okay. What's going on with this? There we go. Okay. A little sound check first. Can you just talk for me?
Test. 1, 2, 1, 2. How we doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna check it. Hey. Get rid of all these recordings. Open up some space. All right. Okay, I'm gonna start.
All right.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the KCM. We're here in the second half for day 9 with Royal versus Snow. We are in a completely new half, so that means a completely new schedule. As you can see, Team Bisu versus Team Queen is going to be our next match. Hero versus Sulky and then Best versus Light will be in those next couple of weeks. Let me switch to this screen. Let me redo this. We've got Team Royal versus Team Snow today, then Bisu versus Queen later this week. Next week, we're going to have Hero versus Sulky, and then Best versus Light. Taking a look at the matchups today, we've got Do versus BS2 to start us off, and then right on in to Royal versus Snow. The team captains will face off in set number 2. We've got Shuttle versus Gameo, Darn versus Bohai, Speed versus Stork, and Beast versus Motive to finish off the first 6 sets, which have already been pre-decided. Then we'll go to the roulette wheel. I'm sure you're excited for Royal versus Snow. I don't know what I'm saying.
Run it back if you need.
Our lineup here for today is as follows. Do versus BS2, going to start us off on Retro. Then we're going to Royal versus Snow. So we're going to get that team captain face-off right off the bat. This should be left to the ace match, but kind of a lucky situation here. Somehow they've worked out. I gotta do that. I gotta do this differently. What should I say? Maybe I'll just say that it's the matchup, and I'll mention that it's going to be the team captains facing off right off the bat.
Yeah.
All right. And the lineup here today, the first 6 matches have already been decided, and as you can see, Royal versus Snow going to be set number 2, so the team captains facing off right away. That's going to be very exciting, don't you think, Shun?
Oh yeah, the fact that we don't even have to wait for the potential ace match to see this is like amazing. Like we're getting a guaranteed like showdown between the team captains and right off the bat too. I'm looking forward to it.
There's some great matchups here today. I'm also looking forward to Beast versus Motive. I've been really watching Motive recently, and his PVC is something else. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into game number 1. Do versus BS2 on Retro. Okay.
There you go.
That's going to be some editing work, but
no worries.
Whatever.
Boy, you got there.
Okay. let's just hop right in. Here's the lineup. There we go.
Nice. Goody gumdrops.
All right, first game of the night. We've got Do here in the top right versus BS2 down in the bottom right on Retro. It's a fun map for Protoss versus Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see how the vertical spawns will come into play here, whether or not the Zerg will take this early on and maybe try and like contain the Protoss player, or if they will see a very super late game with just like turtling on these islands, so these are high ground expansion areas on the 12th, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. Some interesting things can happen. To be honest, though, like there is kind of a bit awkward in some certain parts of this map to navigate in this matchup because of how tight this ramp to the natural expansion is, and the pathway to the high ground does kind of like leave for some problematic situations where you either can get contained or the storms are just too strong if you try and push in.
That's true, and one thing to mention is in the ladies' matches so far in this matchup, we've mostly seen Hydralisk busts. That seems to be the chosen strategy here by the team captains. You know, these girls aren't making all the decisions by themselves. You have to respect your team captain and what they think is going to be best for you in your match, giving them the best chance to win. So I guess a lot of these Zerg players are being told to Hydralisk bust, or that's what they're comfortable with. And we'll see if there's going to be a Hydralisk bust here, because it's been, you know, with varied success. We've seen sometimes it end up working out, but a lot of times players are just able to hold it off, to predict it and hold it off. So we'll see if BS2 wants the Hydra bust here.
Yeah, it looks like BS2 is going to have to be forced to build a hatchery at the 6 o'clock because of the probe block at the natural expansion. So is at the very least probably going to be taking about 3 bases early, which could then lead into a 973. Don't have any early gas timing, which would indicate a 2-hatch Hydra play here. So it's going to be a fairly standard Hydra bust timing if she does go for that in the end. But looks like she wants to throw down this hatchery, so it's going to be a 3-hatch build no matter what. One thing to note as well is that she got a super fast scout with this Overlord, so it was Forge Fast Expanse. He's the timing of everything, so if she knows what she's doing here and can catch this probe scout efficiently with the Lings, she's in a really good spot. But the problem is that she's having a little bit of a difficulty actually catching this probe scout, even forced to cancel Lover. Made a mistake there, did BS2, making the wrong, I think maybe making an Overlord Baxton or something. And now going to be making a gas around about the time that she can still go for this Hydra Bust play. Maybe even get Link Speed first. I think the timing she took it actually is indicative of maybe a Link Speed first timing, but yeah, she should still could go for a straight up 973.
Yeah, this is very strange to see a cancelled egg in the early game. It's not like a cancelled unit for any other race. You cancel the egg, you lose the larva. So it is a pretty big hit to the economy. You can see the minerals already kind of stacking up here for BS2. She should have another drone out right now, but she's building more Lings. And you might be right. Maybe she's going to go for some sort of run by here with a bunch of speedlings, and a Hydrogen does go down. So either because this was the plan all along, or because she, you know, accidentally canceled that unit. Either way, she's decided to go for a Hydralisk bust, and gonna start off with a little Ling run by here. Might be able to get the cannon, actually. The Zealot is out on the map. This is not a good situation.
Yeah, she's completely pulled the Protoss player here who's sending out the Zealot. Now this one single cannon going to be focused down by Lynx very quick. Another cannon just tried to go down, but immediately gets focused fire. But the Lynx have been dealt with quite efficiently here by Do. Not going to be taking too much damage to the economy at least, but the cannon has been disrupted. So now this expansion area is kind of vulnerable. Lynx still going to be making its way into the main base, causing a little bit further harassment while some drones are being squeezed out at these 3 bases now. One to be transitioning into the 973, but Probe Scout vitally going to be coming into the natural expansion, and we'll soon confirm the Hydrogen in the main base, so we'll be able to make these cannons on time. So maybe not going to be dead, but certainly a little bit of a issue to deal with in the early game. But I don't think that Ju will die here necessarily. I think she scouted this at the opportune time that she can still get the cannons out on time here, as long as the Lings don't come in and cause too many frustrations.
This is a little bit unfortunate. Okay, this Zealot's gonna come in here, maybe get a kill. Oh, really good micro. Oh, that was very close. Almost saved that drone, but does get the drone kill. And yeah, you're totally right. She's going to be able to add on some more cannons here. She's even got the probe still in the main base. So she actually sees that it's drones popping out here and can just, not add on more cannons too early here. If there's not going to be Hydras popping out, there's no need to add those on just yet. She's going to continue to pump up her economy here while it seems that BS2 just wants to transition out of this Hydros bus now.
Yeah, and do even electing to make the Dragoon to come down and kill these Overlords, which were just chilling out here. So that's actually going to be 2 Overlord kills for this 1 Dragoon, which is really good value for Do going in the early game here. So I would say the early game edge definitely does favor the Protoss player here, especially with the intel that she's been able to glean with the Probe Scout. And usually the most difficult thing in this matchup is being able to figure out the early game and try and navigate how the Zerg is acting and how you need to react. But here comes the stream of Hydras, a little bit of a delayed Hydra bus situation we may be seeing here. And if Do's not ready for this, maybe this could work. There is a few additional cannons coming in though, but 3 will hold for the time being, and they're made right up against the wall as well, saying to protect the Forge.
Ooh, it's scary though to put those so close. Oh, she does get that second Overlord. Supply blocking BS2. That's really going to slow down this Hydralisk bust. Building the cannons at the front right next to the Forge is a bit of a risk because you can't get your Zealots out here very easily. And just running up to the Forge here, even without range being finished, you can snipe down those making cannons. Now that they're finished, it's not as big of a deal. BS2 here sitting on a lot of larva. Not able to produce anything right now. I don't think this bust is going to work, and she's not really got much of a economy behind this. She does run forward and kills a couple of cannons, but again, there's not really much behind this. I wonder if she's producing Hydralisk right now, or if she's just going into drones once again, because things are going to finish up here. Cannons are going to finish up here. Even if there are Hydras popping right now, it's going to take some time to get them to the front.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit dicey, I would say, if she wanted to pull the trigger here, but I don't think she is necessarily. I think she will be delaying the Hydra bust for at least another minute or so. She wants to probably get a critical mass and then come in just before Storm comes online. But it might be getting the Forge, just barely getting the Forge as well before the Zealots can come out and save that. It's a big pick-off for BS2 here. Denying that from Do is going to be painful. Forges will have to be remade in the main base, and the timing of the tech now is going to be so significantly delayed. Not even building the Forge in the main base yet, I don't think. So this is actually really slow response from Do here. I really think that she's not really reacting how she should be.
Yeah, we've got Zealot speed. So these Zealots are a lot more of a threat here to the Hydras, but coming out right now is not a good idea. You want to have the Zealots right in front of the cannons, and the moment that they try to run forward, that's when you need to pull the trigger with the Zealots. Come out and body block those Hydras, stop them from dealing the damage to the cannons. This is quite a few cannons now, and we do have kind of endless Zealot rallies coming down with 5 gateways in the main, so I don't think you can quite bust here, but of course, we don't have a Storm, as you were saying, so there is still that possibility. And if she throws away more Zealots right now, she could absolutely get busted here. Running forward to kind of tank right now. We're putting a little damage onto one of these cannons, but the cannons, for the most part, are just ripping the Hydras apart. They have so much DPS, you cannot stand in cannon range and just fight with Zealots. You will get annihilated. More cannons being built here. I think Do should hold this, but BS2 still going to town, still sending Hydras across the map, but also at the same time droning up behind this and adding on more hatcheries as well.
Yeah, Do finally got this double Forge in the main base rolling again, able to make some more cannons. A few of these Hydras are being bled off, some of the cannons going down, but really what needs to be happened here is either taking down more of these probes or just focusing down the cannons one at a time. She's doing a little bit of both right now. She's barely starting to bust through the front, actually. These 4 cannons are slightly awkwardly placed. The one at the bottom, a little bit susceptible. You need to be careful also about the positioning of these overalls. Yeah, basically, BS2 was kind of threatening a lurker contain, which is why Do was trying to come out with the Zealots, but now facing a little bit of an issue because after losing the Zealots, now not enough units to tank at the front, and now all these cannons have started to go down, and now this whole position is opened up to being exploited by a whole position at the bottom, denying the gas mining, maybe even the Nexus being target fired down as well. Storm will be coming out momentarily. There may even be some DT to slow this down just a little bit because there's slow Overlord tech right now, so it could exploit that with a single DT, trying to buy some time, desperately to get more and more cannons up, but certainly due in a really rough time situation right now, Saiyan.
There we go. First Templar is out. We've still got 5 cannons here, but they're in a kind of strange looking line at the top of the Nexus rather than in front of it. That's not the greatest position for those, but there wasn't much room to throw down cannons in this natural. Zealots are coming forward, trying to tank some damage. Probes are trying to help as well. Front cannon goes down. She's going to dive forward. Is she going to go for the cannons or the Templar? Looks like going for the cannons for now. She knows that the Templar tech is not finished, that the Storm tech is not done just yet. We don't have that energy. She kills off almost every single... Oh, there's the Storm finally coming out here. But is it too little too late? The Nexus is exposed. We've only got one more Storm. Is it going to be a good one? Yes, very nice. Getting some good damage, but not killing off too many of those Hydras. She's going to come forward and maybe kill us Nexus now.
Yeah, she's going for it. She's put the trigger down. Every single unit is basically a Hydralisk right now, trying to end the game of this technical play. Gets the snipe on the Nexus, and that's pretty much it. This is a really tough situation from Jude to recover from now. There's a lot of pressure that will be applied. Beautiful snipe on the High Templar as well. These Hydras are extremely easy to micro if you have the mechanics to do so. They have one of the highest skill ceilings in the game because of how microable they are, how fast you can gun down targets with good positioning of these Hydras, but making sure they can shoot at a rapid rate is very important, and looks like so far BS2 did a good enough job of that, and the Storm's not quite being efficient enough to deal with that, and finally has exploited the Protoss player and finally busted open his position. Even though there's no lurker tech right now, it'd be very difficult for the Protoss player to come out onto the map with any kind of significant map control with a count of Dragoons as well to escort the High Templars. It'll be really difficult to keep these High Templars alive going forward. There'll be lots of Hydra flanks sniping these High Templars if the Protoss player does somehow manage to stabilize.
Yeah, this should be just a straight up BS2 victory. I'm surprised that Du wants to stay in here. She's going to try and build a new Nexus. Looks like drones are being produced. So BS2, realizing her position, just going to start to get further and further ahead. A Zealot counterattack running in towards the natural. Maybe she can get a bunch of Zealots in the main base and try to, mess up this economy a little bit for BS2. However, Hydra's on this ramp. They're going to be blocking things out a little bit. We've got this Archon, which is about to go down here. Oh, attacking into the third base as well, splitting things up. Giving herself a good shot here, actually. Getting a lot of kills over here at the third base. Plus, the main base is under attack right now. She should be running in and trying to delay this as much as possible. Try to run into the corner. Maybe go around into the mineral line once again. Try to get some more kills. We only just now have the evolution chamber coming down. So BS2, she's in a great position, but she hasn't locked everything down just yet. There are still ways that she could start, that could start to come back here if she really gets this damage rolling and, gets those upgrades ahead of her opponent.
Yeah, I think there's really, really good valiant effort from Du here, trying to put as much pressure on as possible, buying herself as much time to stabilize. Attack was the best form of defense in that situation. Now Templar's starting to come up, but I have a feeling she's going to get hit just before the timing of these Templars having Storm. If BS2 decides to hesitate and doesn't go in now, maybe she's fine, but if BS2 wants to push the trigger right now, she could just say, oh, okay, she's going to be set up a lurker container. Okay, so maybe Du's going to be living for the time being, and actually we could have a little bit of a game here because Du's probably going to try and just set up a lurker contain and take this to like a more mid to late game transition here. So I actually feel like maybe this will be a slightly longer game unless for some reason she decides to just go for it, but then that'll probably flip the script and allow Ju to come back and win the game. So I have a feeling we're just going to see a lurker contain here.
Lurker contain's probably going to be the option here, the correct choice for BS2. One thing to mention is that Du has been mining. Oh god, these Zealots just running out against the lurkers, taking so much damage. You really need to go the other direction here. Go down while you still can here before the lurker contain is completely set up. There's not a lot of defense at home, so she could actually get some good damage here. One thing to mention is that the main base for Du has been mining a lot longer. So it's going to mine out a lot faster here. I don't know why she's not sending these in. onto the natural, she could have gotten so much damage.
Well, to be fair, like there could have been a better SimCity, and she doesn't have full information. She doesn't know exactly what's back there, and there is lurker tech now. She confirmed, so there could be like lurker egg blocks on the ramp, and between the SimCity, it's not a guaranteed damage for her. So I guess she didn't want to risk losing these zealots. Wants to instead keep them an active threat out on the map to like make it a lot more harder for BS2 to solidify the contain right now. And I think that they'll buy Ju just a little bit of time to maybe start to think about how she's going to bust out of this, because it will keep the forces a little bit light for now at the contain area. Maybe give her a chance to bust out.
Yeah, she's got to get Dragoon range. She's got to get some observers out here to the front. The contain is not very good for BS2 right now. She's actually on the side of the ramp, so Duke could move southward with a small army and actually take over and secure that third base potentially. Here before BS2 really gets set up. There's a lot of Dragoons popping out. We've still got a lot of Hydras, though. How many Storms do we have for this next fight? That's really going to be the deciding factor. Can she get the right Storms and bust through this and potentially take that third base? BS2's not going to want to let that happen. She now has an army on the high ground over there at the third as well, so going to come in from multiple angles to shut down this push out from Dew. That's not a whole ton of Dragoons just yet. She does need a couple more rounds here first, and running directly into Lurker fire, this is not how you want to start this fight.
Yeah, this is not looking too good for Ju either. And there is a few counterattack in the 6 o'clock with that contingency of Zealots. Finally starting to get mopped up, though, by some Hydras and that Sunken. Yeah, it's looking a little bit dicey here for Ju. I mean, even though there's some good Storms connecting here, just not enough units. The Goon count's just drying up instantly. And the interesting dynamic of this match as well is because of the natural expansion being killed, the main base is now mined out like 2 to 3 minutes even quicker than usual. So they're actually mining on one base worth of production as well. So this is really, really rough situation for Ju, because you can't even build enough units to break out of the container right now, because she's only got one base worth of economy.
Ooh, great Storm right there, dealing a ton of damage to all those Hydras. But I feel like BS2 can just move forward with this containment force over on the left-hand side and cut these few Dragoons that are on just to the south of this position off from the rest of the forces, and I think that's what she's going to do now. She's moving forward here with some Hydras, not bringing the Lurkers right now, but looks like she is going to be forced back, actually, and maybe Dew can secure this third base on the high ground. If she can get some cannons up there, she might be able to hold that off.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, though, because I don't know how she's going to be able to get these cannons online without the Zerg doing something about it. There's just so much Zerg to throw at them. Beautiful Storm there, though. There is a small glimmer of hope. If there was just 1 or 2 more Storms like that one right there, that's a beautiful Storm for Dew here, cleaving apart the army of BS2, but not quite enough to seal the deal. More Lurker eggs being morphed in the face of the Protoss infantry, of just a handful of Dragoons remaining, and this lonesome Zealot finally being cleaned up by the subterranean spines of that Lurker. And just look at the flood of Zerg just coming across the map now as well. Just look at the writings on the wall for Dew here, I feel, Sam.
Yeah, it has been since that Nexus went down earlier. Lings are coming forward in massive numbers. Dragoon's just not the right tool to deal with that. They are going to have to fall back here once again, and we haven't seen cannons go up on that high ground, so she's not going to be able to secure that third base. That probe goes down, and the sand is running out of the hourglass here for Dew. Even just sitting on 3 bases here, BS2 is eventually going to take this game if Dew can't secure this expansion down here, and she's now got a drop as well, so she can start to try and drop. Oh my god, a Lurker drop on that natural would be so devastating. There are so many probes there right now.
Yeah, she's just doing it in the face of Dew as well. But now she's like kind of hesitating, pulling the trigger on that, kind of just hovering there. Maybe wants to wait to kind of distract Dew at the front before going in for that sort of like 1-2 punch. Is what you usually want to do. You want to distract them at the front while you sneak in with the Overlords and Lurkers to snipe all the probes. And that might be what we just see in a few moments here. There is a small force holding the high ground at 3 o'clock for Dew, but there's no way this will be able to maintain this position. It's just going to be too hard for her to take this expansion and not die at the same time. You've got some more Overlords kind of moving around the map here. Looks like maybe there's going to be some kind of drop in the main base as well. It'd be elevatoring some of the army up there, maybe to kind of draw the attention of the Protoss army back into the main base, while then the Zerg can then hit the front and also Lurker drop the natural at the same time.
There's a lot of different ways to skin this cat. I think that Do is just about done here. But BS2, she's going to go for one massive drop into the main. And that's going to be her method to end this game. Third base is going up for Do, but her hopes are running short here. Will she sense out the drop, the massive drop coming towards the main and actually shut this down? I don't think so. It doesn't seem like she knows about it. She doesn't have any pylons on the edge of her base or anything. I think these zealots might have gone under some flying overlords, but then this is going to be a rough drop. It's going to be so hard to clear. It's going to really distract her as well, and I think that's the moment to come in with those lurker drops as well to crush the economy here. She's got one Dragoon in the main. Here comes that big drop. Nexus is starting. Oh, she's actually got quite a few Templar here.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, this is actually enough. This is enough defense. The anti-drop defense, just 2 or 3 good storms will clean up most of this. I'm not too sure about the other storm on the bottom, though. It would have been better to save that for the top flank of these units coming out, but not bad still. Some hope for the defense, but I don't think there's just going to be enough for her here. Like, even if she somehow defends this, like, she's still dead in the long run. Like, there's no way she can stabilize the position. She's now going to be mined out in the natural expansion. She's going back to 1 base worth of mining. Even if she does clean this, is doing a good enough job of cleaning up the main base. But look at the supplies, 87 to 134. It's just no way she's going to come back in this game. Zerg is just going to start to spread like a virus across the map and just consume this Protoss player. And I don't think there's going to be much hope for her going forward here soon.
Just one cannon on the high ground here, holding on to this third base. We don't have a Templar, unfortunately. Had there been a Templar here, you're never going to try and break this ramp. But okay, there's one Templar. Should be a great storm here. Good job by BS2 pulling away from that as soon as she sees that Templar. Here comes the probes. All of them going to be transferred over here to this third base, as you were saying. Still on 1 base economy because the mining efficiency just has not been there. The mineral spreading has been atrocious this game because of that lost nexus in the early parts of this PVZ. And down in the bottom left, 2 more bases have gone up for BS2, and there's just no chance for Dude to actually push across the map right now. No chance at all.
No, it's just not enough units here. There's a nice storm, but even with these beautiful storms that we might be seeing, there's just not enough. Like, eventually the energy will dry up and the Zerg will start to overrun these positions. There's a little bit of room for Dude to maneuver coming out here to kind of buy a little bit of space here with some resources, but BS2 is not too concerned about that. She can also cut off the rally point here by just containing the natural point here, but she's going for the doom drop in the main to just completely destroy the infrastructure of the Protoss. She's baited out the Protoss army onto the map, and now it's out of position and unable to retreat and come and save the main base this time. So all of these gateways, all of this tech is going to be just completely wiped out by the seams of it.
Yeah, a lot of lurkers here. Not too many other units, but mostly just lurkers. Gonna start to rip apart this economy, apart this infrastructure here with all the gateways going down. You're not going to be able to continue to make units. You're going to end up losing your tech as well. It seems like Dude just doesn't have what it takes to save that main base. She does have some storms here to possibly save the third, but she's not utilizing them, and all the cannons are going down. Just too much going on the map right now for Dude to respond. She's trying to push down here in the bottom left, as well as clean up the main, and now her third is gone, and that's all the mining completely destroyed here for Dude, and we're going to have a tap-out moment any second.
Yeah, she's too distracted with the main base there and desperately trying to clean up those lurkers, unable to do so. GG finally called. First point on the board for Team Snow. Let's get it right into round 2. I'm looking forward to the Royal versus Snow match here, now saying.
All right. Okay, time for the main event here. Royal versus Snow on Invader. Great map for these two to show down. We've got Snow sending out a super early probe here. Are we going to have some aggression with a forward gateway, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, sending out a probe this early, either that or he just really wants this gas deal. Like, he really wants this gas deal. But I think it's definitely going to be just some kind of gateway. Yeah, it's going to be a proxy gateway. But if you wanted to guarantee the gas deal and not let Royal do any kind of like 10 gas, really early gas timing, you know, like maybe. But yeah, it seems like it is going to be just a forward gateway.
Yeah, is it going to be 2 forward gateways, though? That's the real question here. Is it going to be 9-9 gate, or is he going to make another probe? I don't see another probe in production, but he is sending in. Okay, there's the probe, and he sends in the first probe here. He wanted to actually steal the gas, but there you go. Royal actually throws down his gas just to make sure that his gas can't get stolen, but that's going to delay his barracks, and that's going to make this Zealot attack more powerful.
Yeah, see, I initially thought that Snow was just going for a guaranteed gas steal, knowing that maybe Royal would have an anti-gas steal strategy plan. So I thought maybe that's what we were going to see, but no, it looks like, oh, Snow actually, look at this, SCV 10 HP, just one more shot, or 2 more shots from that particle beam would have finished it off, but beautiful micro from Royal there, not allowing that to occur, and does get the repair on that in the mineral line. Ooh, a little bit annoying, though, to deal with this early mana pylons from Snow. Not even the barracks being built as well. No really way of doing DPS to this, but the fusion cutters of the SCVs you have. So not really many SCVs mining right now for Royal. So a nice little economic boom here. But needs to be careful. Loses the probe for free. That's a little bit of a mistake from Snow, uncharacteristically so.
Yeah, that is a bit of a mistake, but look at the building setup here for Royal. He does not have a good location to hide this Marine. You know, usually, oh, actually, you know what? The second supply kind of changes things, right? I don't think you can move between the barracks and that fresh supply depot that's just been completed. So that's a pretty good move. Oh, 2 SCVs going down already. Brutal damage here so far from Snow.
Yeah, this is really rough as well. But with that pylon going down, Snow's also a supply block, so a little bit rough for him as well. And yeah, you're exactly correct saying that is a SimCity wall that Roy will be able to navigate around. It's a good enough hole for him to use here. And going forward, it looks like he's going to be in a little bit of trouble now, taking some more hits on these SCVs and the top while the Marines are going down. Both SCV lines at the top and bottom getting harassed right now, and Royal not able to keep up the multitasking and just losing SCVs left, right, and center. Snow really taxing his own multitasking, and the multitasking of Royal now with this beautiful micro on both sides of the mineral fields, and now even doing more and more damage to these SCVs and Marines, really stretching thin the forces of Royal now. Not really any SCVs left on the line, only a handful of Marines as well. We'll be able to ward away the Zealots, it seems, for the time being, but quite a critical amount of damage has been done. And meanwhile, the tech switch is already being activated by Snow. There's gas being mined behind this. There's a cybernetics core. So Snow now has some other options to follow this up with soon. So
yeah, he's going to keep this pressure going as well. He already killed a couple of the first Marines, and that's almost unacceptable in a situation like this, to lose Marines in this early game. And all of these Marines are badly injured. So once the Dragoon comes in, he's going to start one-hitting a lot of these. The Zealots are still here putting on that pressure. Royal getting his factory up, but it's a little bit late, and he's even going to lose a couple more Marines here. No way. Oh my god. Royal losing way too much here in this early game. And yeah, back at home, more gateways coming up here, and Snow has a big advantage in his worker count as well.
Yeah, and Dragoon range on the way, so it's only a bad situation's only going to get worse as well. Meanwhile, just Marines and Vultures in production, not even a machine shop or anything. So it's going to be really rough. Getting on top of these Marines as well with this Zealot on the right-hand side with the side blades, going to be doing a little bit more damage before finally being taken out. And now Snow backing up to the safety of this gateway, trying to wait for another Dragoon to come out to help buy some time against these forces, taking shots at these forces one at a time, forcing out as much DPS on these finite amount of hit points while also recharging shields to maximize efficiency. So Snow doing a really good job here of just getting as much value as possible with his units, doing a great job of targeting down these Marines first. They're the highest DPS unit right now, besides the Vulture shredding their shields with the fragmentation grenades. Finally going to get on top of this Vulture and slide them before the repair comes in as well. Does lose one of the Dragoons though, so we'll be able to keep the pressure on Snow just a little bit, but without mines, there's not going to be a contingency of a threat here. So I really feel like Snow's going to eventually get the better of him with some good micro.
Yeah, especially once Dragoons start filtering out of the main as well, coming down here to join the front. Just one at a time is almost doable, but now he's going to lose that other Vulture, oh my god, that Vulture on just 2 HP is so annoying. He does come out and snipe that, get rid of that, and sends a Vulture across the map, but we've already got a Dragoon back at home. He's not going to be able to get extra damage. There's a second factory on the way. Royal knows that he's just about dead in the water, so he's going to try for something desperate here. However, Snow's already in the main base. He just needs to walk a little bit farther forward. He will see that second factory, and basically the jig will be up at that point.
Yeah.
Oh,
he gets it as well. Yeah, this is really rough. GG finally called from Royal. Really great execution from Snow there. The only real botch thing was the probe in the main base dying to the SUV. Other than that, really stellar stuff just on him like white on rice.
Yeah, not giving him a second to breathe there. Just so much pressure coming from Snow. Royal not able to get even a tiny bit of oxygen in that game and suffocates out. So not the game that we were expecting here for our Royal versus Snow match, for our team leaders match, but still a great game of early pressure from Protoss.
All right, quick
You
little
want
break.
a little break? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a little vape and get a drink.
All right, I'm gonna pee.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I'm back.
All right, you bet. Hope you guys are enjoying the cast so far. All right, man. Pretty much ready when you are.
All right.
그리고 최근에 김경모 선수의 폼이 많이 좋습니다. 그리고 김윤종 선수의 폼이 생각만큼 좋은 편 아니에요. 그래서 밸런스가 정말 5대5.
All right, our next game is going to be on Neo Sylphid with Shuttle versus Gameo. Interesting that Shuttle was picked first by Royal. What do you think that's about?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. I mean, maybe they're just buddies, or yeah, they know something about each other that we don't, and maybe Royal really respects Shuttle. I know Shuttle could hold his own against Flash back in the day, and he's one of those players that has had the potential, just not the consistency. And oh, look at this! Not going to be spotting this. He's going to be spotting this Overlord right away with the probe scout. I think he was trying to be a little bit sneaky there for a second. Does get a confirmation on that, but we'll be able to put down the hatchery without being blocked, though, regardless of that fact. But will be interesting to see how he responds to this gateway first, because Overlord will be scouting him first.
Well, this is a story as old as time here. Well, not as old as time. I guess gateway expansion hasn't been a thing for that long. This gateway first with a trickle of early zealots, but we're going to see those zealots come out here against a 12 hatch. You're just barely going to have lings out as the zealots arriving in the main base, and any damage that this probe can do might set up the alley-oop here for that zealot to be able to come in and just two-shot a couple of these drones.
Yeah, basically losing just a single drone basically negates the advantage of going for this hatchery first as well. So that's why he's trying so hard to save these drones, because losing just a single one is so bad. Down to 7 HP, just 2 more particle beam shots from that prober to finish that off. He is returning fire with the acid spines as well, trying to deny that from occurring, but now with a little bit of extra shields coming back in again to try and get the job done. Not able to do so, though. Shuttle being very adamant about that, but now the Zealot coming in is going to maybe denying this third base from going down. But instead he's going to try and gets the cancel on the hatchery from going down. Beautiful timing on that Zealot, just getting their shuttle really on top of everything right now. Just a little bit lucky. Either way, things are going pretty good for him in Game-O in a world of hurt.
Yeah, Game-O not able to take that high ground base. Looks like he's going to take the mineral only instead. It's still an acceptable base to take. Some players even prefer to take that one instead of the gas base first. And this Zealot is just kind of chilling here over by that third, while a lot of lings are being produced right now. And maybe Game-O going to look to try and get in here on this early expansion. However, quite a few lings are actually left back at home to deal with this Zealot. He's going to be able to deal with that, and he should be switching back into drone production from here on. Ooh, trying to get between that gas and mineral, but not able to find that little hidey hole there. Instead, just going to go ahead and scout the main, see what the gas timing is, see how many drones we've got here, and yeah, everything kind of shaping up relatively normal here. No serious damage just yet on either side.
Yeah, and Game-O going to be denying this out, getting behind this mineral line in the back as well, which is a nice little advantage for him. If he can kill this efficiently and throwing at the front, I doubt he wants to make a sunken contain. That's just a little bit of a mistake, misrally there. Game-O a little bit flustered from this early game pressure from Shuttle. Shuttle really trying to get a lot done early and really frustrate the growth of the Zerg and how they're navigating. And so far, he's done a really great job of just kind of frustrating Game-O and pushing him to the absolute limits of his early game execution. And now, though, the response is going to be a Hydra Den. He wants to basically try and take the fact that he's killed some of these Zealots in the early game and use that as now he can get away with coming out here with a bit of a Hydra bust. There's not going to be enough Zealots to put the pressure on to confirm this and deny this from occurring once he's killed a few of these Zealots in the early game. So now he's going to just say he wants to end the game now because he can't really stabilize and play a macro game from here. So he wants to try and finish the game set, and I can't really blame him.
Yeah, it's very tempting whenever things go wrong in the early game as a Zerg player. I think we're going to see that timing that we've seen recently. It's become more and more popular with the speed upgrade being done here. And he is going to get that speed. So he gets the ling speed. It makes it really look like you're going for a regular play, that you're going to be getting your layer. But then going into a Hydralist bust after that, you're not going to have all the upgrades for the Hydras, and you're not really going to have that many Hydras, but you're going to have a lot of lings to shove back the Zealots. It can be very, very deadly. It's not your classic 973, but it is still a strong build, and it's becoming more popular recently. 2 cannons here at the front. That safety cannon is coming out from Shuttle, and it's still a long time before his Corsair can come out and scout this. So this comes faster, this attack, this little like Zealot Ling speed Hydralist bust timing is a different build that comes out a lot faster. And actually, if these Zealots move forward, he might actually scout this. But third cannon coming up as well, so maybe he's already kind of sniffed this out. It is a strong build, and as I said, it is getting kind of popular right now.
Yeah, he needs to be he's hesitant to come out with the Zealots because of the potential of a Ling run by with only 2 cannons being up. That's why he's kind of being a little bit scared right now. Here come the Lings. They're getting a good surround on these Zealots. Hydra's trying to gun them down too, but not really enough to soak up all of the Zealots. And most of them do retreat and get out with their lives. So 5 Zealots still remaining to tank for the front. And with the extra cannon going up, Shuttle looking like he's pretty much going to be unscathed for the time being. There's not enough gas in the tank, I think, for Gamer to get the job done here. And I think that Shuttle's pretty much all but won right now as Gamer tries to desperately salvage the position by trying to range down this gateway. But I think Shuttle's going to come out now and just bully away these Hydras, getting a few easy kills with the side blades. Even though the Zealots are still slow, it doesn't really matter. There's just not a critical mass of Hydras to come in here and bust this open. So I think for the time being, Shuttle's going to be just fine and maybe even like slowly going to be winning this game quite confidently.
Yeah, this is showing you why it's not the greatest to attack a horizontal expansion entrance here for the Protoss. You can't get good surface area on the Forge and the Gateway. Looks like he will maybe eventually take down that Forge, but the +1 upgrade is already done. He can double Forge behind this and get into his +1 armor and +2 attack as well. Corsair, not really getting any damage, but now we've got Zealot speed finish, and yeah, he's not even going to get that Forge. So this whole attack here has done nothing but kind of throw away Lings and delay his economy further. Maybe getting 1 gateway, that's the best he could do. Killing or forcing out more cannons, but Shuttle's done a great job of holding this, and now Gamo's in a very tough position, but he is starting to add on those hatches. He is starting to get into drones. Just know that he is behind at this point.
Yeah, he's by no means automatically dead, but he is slightly lagging behind the Protoss player right now, struggling to catch up. He is trying to get right into 6 hatchery production to try and get a critical mass of Hydras that he can somehow outmuscle the Protoss player in the mid-game phase. It is possible for him to achieve this. It's just, and to be honest, denying this upgrade, it's something. So he didn't deny the +1, but at least he denied the +2. So it's a small win for Gamo here going forward, and he hasn't lost too much to this Corsair harassment so far. He is currently supply blocked, but he's done a good job against production going. He's a little bit behind the curve here right now. So he might have a real tough time fighting against Shuttle unless he comes in and does some really great High Templar snipes or what have you.
There we go. Gets the Corsair. That's a nice pickup. 4th base is on the way here for Gamo, and I don't think Shuttle's aware of that. All he sees is lots of Hydras, so he might overestimate the position here for Gamo and let that 4th base come up. DT is on the way out onto the map. He might be able to scout that 4th base with this, and I don't see Overlord speed just yet, so that might be difficult to deal with. Hydra's meeting up here in the middle. There's enough to take on these Zealots, but they all have to be together and fighting at the same time. Great micro there from Gamo. The DT does slip by, though. What do we have here at the 3rd base to defend? I don't see anything, but Gamo is aware of this. He's going to be able to pull his drones away. 1 kill, maybe 2? Oh my goodness, pretty good micro here. Really good micro, actually. 3 kills actually do go down, but that was really well dealt with by Gamo.
Yeah, only losing 3 drones there. He would have liked to have lost less, but yeah, it's pretty well dealt with. He's going to be happy about that. If you were not paying attention, you lose like 12 drones there, you're in a world of hurt. It's painful. So pretty good to be able to clean that up efficiently. And Gamo, with this 4th base now coming online and the extra gas being available to him, he's now on 900 gas per minute. That's a lot. He can make a lot of lurkers if he wants to do a transition now. He could either do a Mutalisk switch and just get like enough 10, 12 Mutas coming in and snipe some High Templars. That'd be really great for him. Or he could just go for a big, massive Battle Zerg style, get like lots of lurkers out as soon as possible, then try and switch into Hive if somehow Shuttle does come out after that and gets his 3rd base. Right now, though, Gamer has a chance to come here and just soft contain him, get lurkers out, and maybe get something going here. But Shuttle's just prepared to just chill, get a ton of Dragoons, and then he's going to come out rolling like a steam train just to come and railroad this Zerg all in one go.
Yeah, it looks like he's preparing for a drop, but that's not in the mind of Gamo. I think on this map particularly, it's great to turtle on 4 bases as Zerg, because the middle of the map here, just in front of these bases, is all kind of one area. You can just spread your lurkers real wide here in the front, make it very hard for the Protoss to attack into you. But taking the next base, going over towards that center left main is going to be very difficult. Looks like one Zealot gonna maybe slip by here. We're having some skirmishes. Gamo's looking for snipes on the High Templar, but he's not looking for a full engage just yet.
Yeah, he's just trying to basically avoid the main threat of the army, like the kind of like how the Protoss player doesn't want to fight the Terran head on. Like he's kind of just like leading it around like a bull. Right, he's leading around a bull right now. Like Gamer's a bit of a matador with a red like bit of sheet here, just trying to keep him like distracted long enough to maybe get a drop going in the main base. Only one cannon here, so with these 2 overlords worth of dropped units, could maybe get quite a significant amount of damage done here with the lurkers being borrowed on the main mineral line, and that could be enough to shut down mining time to prevent too much production from the Protoss players are running. But look at this big spread of units from Shuttle just mowing down most of the Zerg forces. A beautiful concave on the left-hand side getting dealt with, though, by these storms. Sonic Storms being used to absolute pinnacle of Shuttle's ability right now, while the Zealots ward away the Hydras at the 6 o'clock position to prevent them from coming in here and creating a concave. And now a drop in the natural expansion with the Lurkers. 11 kills on that Lurker for Gamer, doing a lot of damage to the production and the economy of the Protoss player now. Meanwhile, the Shuttle looking pretty strong.
Yeah, Shuttle just bashing through this natural. There were not enough lurkers set up back at home for a game. While kind of expecting maybe Shuttle to react more strongly to that drop in the main. Maybe pull back for a second with his army, but Shuttle just rolling in here, crushing through this army here, the scattered army of Gamo, and taking out this natural. Now going to go in and start to take out the main base as well. All of these drones here are probably going to end up getting stormed. Oh, he doesn't pull the trigger on that storm. We have a few units coming forward for Gamo to maybe clean up these Dragoons, and with the drones blocking here, he's actually not going to be able to run and escape into the main base. We've only got a few more storms, so maybe somehow, some way, Gamo can stabilize here. He did kill a lot of probes in the main or in the natural base of Shuttle, but there's even more Zealots coming in. That's way too many Zealots to deal with. Yeah, he's probably just going to kill this base and destroy all the drones here as well. We've got some links popping out, but Zealots are just going to clean those up so efficiently.
Yeah, Gamo is just struggling to keep the plate spinning right now, saying, oh, there's so many fires for him to put out, but he might be able to put out all the fires and eventually have some kind of peace and harmony, but at what cost? He's lost so many drones, so much mining time. He's still losing Hydras, so even his inventory is still dwindling as we speak. Still losing more drones at the 6 o'clock mineral line as well. It's absolute craziness right now. The amount of damage Shuttle is doing to Gamo is unimaginable. There's not really any way of recovering from this. If he had Hive, if he had Defilers, there's no way he can do it. GG.
GG. A great game there from Shuttle. An excellent showing. And, giving a case for himself and maybe a reason why Royal decided to pick him first. He didn't show up last half, but maybe this half is going to be a bit different. Guys, we're going to jump into game number 3. Get it going. All right. Pretty good. That was a nice game. That looks like my games, bro. That looks like a lot like my games. All the, zealot aggression and stuff just pulling you apart. You can't handle everything in this massive army. Oh my god. Even though you're counterattacking and killing bases or, dropping or whatever, it's like, how do I deal with this fucking giant mammoth-sized Protoss army bearing down on my natural?
I don't know how you deal with that. I mean, that's basically what I thought was going to happen. He was just building up like a nice big 1-2 punch for him to deal with. That's what most Protoss players do. It's such a good way of playing in that matchup. And obviously, like, he's just going to chill until that time, make sure there's no drops, make sure there's nothing going on.
Yeah. Well, I thought that he would have more lurkers back at home. You have like a lurker field back there, but I guess he didn't have time. especially like he researched drop. That's an extra 200 gas, right? That's 2 less lurkers, and he put 2 lurkers in that drop and sent it in, so that's 2 less lurkers at home. So, if he had 4 more lurkers there, plus the Hydras are back at home, maybe he can hold that off long enough to get more rallies going and stuff. But yeah, just wasn't enough there.
He got a little bit outclassed by Shaw, unfortunately.
Yeah, good game by Shaw. You want a little break, or
No,
we're gonna do this ladies match?
We can roll it. Oh, don't forget to do the names.
Okay. Bohai versus Darin. What do you mean? The names?
Oh, yeah, the nameplates underneath Team Royal and Team Snow.
Oh, the KCM always does that, but they don't have really like their names. I guess they just put the female, the Korean names.
Bad,
I just put the Team Royal versus Team Snow.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just announce who it is and go with it. It's Darin versus Bohai. I think these two girls have a very long history between the two. Let me just check. Let's see. Yeah, basically, from season 8 of the ladies ASL, they've been going back and forth. Oh, and Bohai played Terran one season. I didn't know that.
Huh. Interesting.
So, ASL 8 Bohai won, ASL 11 Bohai won, ASL 12 Bohai won, 13 Bohai won, then 15 Darin finally won.
Ooh.
And then 16 Bohai won.
Oh, okay. So Darin got a lot of prove right now.
Yeah, so she has a losing win rate against Bohai. Oh god.
What?
Yeah, she's got a 25% win rate against Bohai.
That's rough.
Yikes. Okay.
Well, 1 in 4 chance.
It is the best of 1 after all. All right. Let's go.
Sure.
여러분 보이십니까? 그래도 저희가 이런 상대 전적은 가급적이면 경기 전에는 안 보여드리고 말씀을 안 드리죠.
Time for our tier 1 ladies match. We've got Darin versus Bohai. And we're just taking a look at the statistics here. Darin and Bohai have met many, many times in the ladies ASL as well as the ladies KCM before. And Darin has not got a lot of wins over Bohai.
Yeah, that's not really looking too good. I mean, still rolling the dice though. Best of 1, anything can happen. Puncher's chance, but maybe a little bit of the underdog in this matchup is Darin. A lot of the wins have gone Bohai's way, so this could be a little bit of a rough one if Bohai's got a good read on Darin and knows exactly how to deal with her here.
Yeah, for sure. This is a tough matchup. Protoss versus Terran. Or Terran versus Protoss, excuse me. And there's a lot of ways that the Protoss can abuse you, whether it be with forward gateways, with the zealot pressure, or just with carriers, or some sort of arbiter tech. But we'll see what Darin's learned from her team captain in the past few weeks. They got knocked out pretty early in the first half, so they've had a lot of time to practice And Royal should be giving her some good tips on how to beat Protoss in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly hope so, and I imagine he definitely has. One thing I would like to see more of is great players bringing up the next generation of players, or at least the next echelon of players, and help shape them into something better and keep the scene more alive by keeping the budding players budding and allowing them to bloom into flowers eventually of their own.
Yeah, we have no shortage of new strong players. Royal was one of those players not too long ago, and now he's surprisingly a team captain here in the KCM, and a very serious contender each season for ASL. So there's definitely room for new players to be coming up, and it's great to see them try to mentor each other and help each other out, especially the ladies players here as well. We want to see some of their representation. It's a very, very tough game, but these ladies are very dedicated and they've been practicing for a long time. First Zealot is coming in here, and great micro so far with these Marines avoiding and playing ring around the Rosie. Oh, the Marine does get a little bit stuck there. Bit unfortunate, but does not lose its life. So Darin still has the 3 Marines. Pretty soon she's going to have 4. And a Vulture is about to pop out. So she should be able to hold on to this. Gets this around with the SCVs. Keeps all the Marines alive. Very, very well done here so far. And now with 4 Marines and a Vulture, yeah, this is going to be an easy hold. Ooh, 2 Marines go down. Wait a second.
Yeah, so far so good, but losing those extra Marines a little bit painful. Does also get the SCV in the main base before confirming the exact tech pattern of the Protoss players. So some small wins there for Bohai as well, but so far really well held by Darin in the early game. I would say that's certainly edged Terran, the trades going that way. So yeah, I think Darin's going to be happy about that, especially with her record against Bohai. I imagine not many games started off like this for Darin, so I imagine she's feeling pretty confident so far.
You can really see the difference in quality here between the tier 1 ladies players and the tier 2 ladies players. These girls are controlling at another level above what those other players are capable. And a robotics facility coming down here. We're going to see how Bohai's micro is with the Reaver. Maybe she's got some tips of her own from Snow, who's honestly one of the best Reaver players, one of the best PvT players of all time. It's pretty amazing to have him as a coach going into this matchup as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's pretty scary with Reavers, and not only will that guy kill you with Reavers, but he'll clap his feet together after doing it. So I can't even imagine the fear inside the hearts of players when up against him on the ladder.
Not only on the ladder, but in tournament as well. He just, time and time again, has proven his foot clapping ability is absolutely unmatched. More mines coming out here. Getting those forward mines is very, very nice, especially here at the third base. Having a mine there, it's going to give you plenty of forewarning as to when Bohai wants to take her third base. And she's going to try and go for another mine over here in the top center, but it looks like Bohai's going to deny that, push that away. Hopefully we're not going to lose this. Vulture! No, Vulture does go down.
Yeah, there was a mine in that Vulture as well, so a little bit of scouting information lost as well. Would have liked to have maybe laid a mine outside the natural, or maybe at the 12 o'clock position. Now that's that's information that will not be able to be gleaned. So losing that Vulture is not only annoying because you lost this Vulture, you lost the pressure, you lost the ability to snipe this probe that was transferring over to the 12 o'clock as well, but now also not going to having that extra information and delaying this base. Imagine if this mine was here right now, denying this Nexus being placed would have been at least something. So yeah, really, really annoying when this does happen to you as a Terran player.
I like the mine placement there. Oh, she is going to get in here, maybe get this probe, but the Nexus has already been thrown down. I was going to say I like this mine placement over at the center right. If you see on the mini map there, just a little tiny dot of red there. in the flight path of a potential shuttle. So giving her just that extra bit of forewarning when the shuttle does end up coming in. She's going to know if it's coming from that angle and where it's going to be headed. So should be able to respond by pulling SCVs or, getting the Goliaths into the position in time. And it's just those tiny little maneuvers that are going to make a world of difference in actually defending that shuttle and having a good game, as opposed to losing a ton of SCVs and losing a position.
Yeah, she's really sure that it is going to be a shuttle as well. She went Goliaths and elected to delay the eBay and just to go into Goliaths and try and shut this down right away. But also we'll be able to shoot down these observers once she finally gets her comsats online. And that's one thing you really want to be mindful of as a Terran player, is keeping track of the exact location and how many observers are around your base. It's very difficult to do, but if you can hunt down all of these observers and guarantee there's no observer just lurking in your base, confirming your tech pattern and your infrastructure, you're in a really good position. Especially if you can then deny any scout from the Protoss player the rest of the game. There's just no real way they can respond to you, and it's just such an advantage.
It's very important here as the Goliath player to snipe those observers as much as you can, so that the Protoss player doesn't really know where the Goliaths are at any time. That way they can't, identify a position that's not well defended and send in the Reaver, because the Goliaths could be anywhere, and with that range they can just snipe down the shuttle so darn easily. But Bohai being very, very careful with her first observer. She didn't send it all the way into the main. She kind of skirted around the outside, saw what she could, but didn't risk that observer's life. And she'll have that available to kind of scout in on the edge of the base and, confirm whether the Goliaths are there or not when she sends in the shuttle.
Yeah, and Bohai taking her fourth base before even 9 minutes. Meanwhile, Darin's CC just about to finish up and start to float over now to the third base location. So Bohai definitely ahead of the curve. Here comes a little bit of a scan, trying to catch this observer. Just barely sneaks out of the vision range of that scanner. Has to scan again. Really bad news bears for Darin. That's a tough nut to swallow. Not going to be happy about that. But now there's a shuttle coming into the natural expansion area as well. Going to be forcing a little bit of a move out from these SCVs to not take too many hits. One SCV going down to the Scarab. Not the most beautiful of connections just yet, but still a little bit of damage and lost mining time going to be frustrating the Terran player here.
Yeah, you would have thought that would have dealt more damage there. That one Scarab looked like it was going to be a big connection, but only killing off one SCV. Things are going well here for Darin so far. She's got her third base operational. She's managed to avoid building too many turrets here. Just adding turrets on at the edges of the base is nice, and then the Goliaths can cover everything else. And yeah, she's making sure that she can find any observers here. She gets another observer, so things it's going to be very hard to break through as Bohai. If there are mines out in front of this army, it's very, very tough to actually initiate an attack if you can't actually clear out any mines before that attack comes through.
Yeah, she may be forced to kind of go a bit super late game with this, and that actually might suit Darin. Darin might feel just fine about splitting the map horizontally, given the current position and game state. So we could also see a situation where Darin actually tries to take the 3 o'clock at some point and attack along this vertical axis and try to use some of these water lines and ridge lines to fight against Bohai and make it harder for the main army engagement. But yeah, so far though, it seems like whatever happens, the game's going to be going on for quite a significant portion of time here, and I can't see this ending anytime soon unless there's some sort of a moment of madness and suicidality from Bohai.
Yeah, it really looks like a long game here. Tons of factories coming up now. Darin, I think she's going to do what you were mentioning before, which is attack along the vertical axis and go for that base over in the center right while doing so. And I definitely agree with the strategy. I like it. It's very straightforward. And as long as she's got enough at home, enough air defenses to keep a poor man's recall out of her base, a bunch of Reavers and Zealots and Dragoons getting dropped off by shuttles, then she should be okay to do this. And yeah, this is just so many factors. She's definitely going for a big attack here.
Yeah, she definitely wants to push, and I imagine she will want to, like you say, attack and defend at the same time by taking this 3 o'clock position to, and by also attacking will be attack and sometimes be the best forward defense, and definitely would be a wise decision and best course of action, maybe given the current game state. But for the time being, a couple of vultures trying to make their way out onto the map, one of them getting caught. However, there is still 4 Goliaths just kind of chilling around, waiting to ward away shuttles, snipe some observers, but for the time being, Bohai being a little bit more careful and cautious with these observers and trying to keep them out of harm's reach, while the poor man's recall or 3 shuttles just looming, waiting, seeing if they can either come in and maybe attack one of these positions in a bulldog maneuver. Probably some High Templars in there right now. I don't know if they should come in here, but there's such a big siege line here, Saiyan.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. I think that Darn would love for Bohai to just feed into her right now. She's going to lose that shuttle, and a lot of this army is going to go down very, very quickly. She needs to kind of replace some of these tanks over here on the right-hand side, or on the left-hand side, excuse me, and stop these supply depots from going down. But for the most part, she's really shut down this attack. She's going to clean up these zealots very, very quickly. Tanks need to come forward here and deal with these dragoons, but I think this is great for Darren. She's not getting supply blocked just yet, and she's shoving everything back. She's Bohai's bled off a huge amount of army, and the tank count is still very, very high for Darren. All the factories are finished now. She's just going to be able to rally full-on vultures to the front line and push this forward.
Even a celebratory dance from that vulture, just really, really hailing this great defense of Darren. It's basically not only flipping the script on the game, but really, really smoothing out any disadvantages you had to worry about in the early game. Look at this factory count as well. Really starting to kick it up into high gear is Darren. And I think we are going to be seeing this base at the 3 o'clock being taken very momentarily as she starts to attack along this vertical axis, putting the pressure on now, forcing Bohai to engage the army head on. There is still some potential here for Bohai to kind of do a little bit of counter-attacking and skirmishing, but with the reduced army count for the Protoss player, there's not a lot that she can to outmaneuver the Terran player right now. So Darren could be quite comfortable in just coming up here and sieging up in this location and force the Protoss player to come to her.
Yeah, it's actually looking like not an attack. Instead, Darren's just going to take this center right here. Oh, one storm. Going to get some SCVs, but picks off that Templar, and not really the serious damage that Bohai was looking for. Meanwhile, this base is going to come up. Bohai's managed to secure the top left. She's going to start to throw gateways down in that location, setting up a second place to macro out of. And Darren just going to sit here on 4 bases now and wait for that max out, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that Darren's basically going to be allowed to get away with this, and Bohai is going to feel the pressure to basically act soon because Darren's only going to get stronger. Now going to be setting a little bit of a counterattack to this sort of 6 o'clock area of the map, trying to keep the Terrans focus elsewhere and not really comfortable with the idea of pushing along this vertical axis for the time being. But there is enough here that maybe Darren will still pull the trigger on that momentarily. Now at 180 supply, pretty much everything is set up for the Terran player to go for this maneuver, and there is still some threat of counterattack from Bohai, so there's a little bit of uncertainty from Darren from the time being. But once she becomes maxed out in a few moments here, she's going to be really confident.
Late game Arbiter going to come through for Bohai. We'll see if she can get some good recalls or stasis going in these fights. And a counterattack looks like it's about to come down. 2 shuttles going to head towards this main base, maybe. There's a lot of turrets down there, though. I think this is going to get shut down pretty brutally. Bohai pushing it down in towards his 3rd base again. It's not worked out well for her. Let's see how it's going to go down this time. Forcing everything back here. Too much army here for Darren. And Darren finally getting some aggression going with her vultures. Going to start to shut down a base over here in the top left, but I think there's enough on high ground to hold this off. Yeah, 3 cannons there should be enough to stop these vultures. If there was another, 8, 10 vultures there, she probably could have shut that down, killed all of the probes, but with just this many, she's going to try and kill this Nexus. Can she actually prevent the Nexus? I don't think so. Some reinforcements are here now to kind of clean this up.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Darren, all things considered. So I don't know how we've got the game that we've got right now. But so far, Darren's playing like an absolute god. And look at this beautiful position of siege tanks. There's no way some Sonic Storm's making connections on these front line of tanks. A nice little D-Matrix, though, going to be softening up that blow and making it an untenable position for Bohai to keep fighting and just losing the majority of the Protoss infantry units at here. Now dwarfing their supply, 170 to 150, 2-1 upgrades as well, 17 minutes. The nice little push timing from Terran can now really start to put the pressure on the Protoss and contain this top right quadrant rally point. There are Protoss rally points being set up in the northwest quadrant. Lots of gateways being thrown down on the Protoss side, but at the moment, though, Darren's going to be able to get away with just pushing up onto this natural third, more or less uncontested. Finally, we see some movements out on the map from Bohai to try and respond to this, but it looks like she doesn't really want to quite engage. She's kind of thinking about just like evacuating this position, sacrificing this natural third, and maybe trying to cut off some reinforcements or go for some counterattacks, but she can't really engage this Terran army head-on for quite some time.
Yeah, there's not too much on the map. Oh, nice scan there, actually, from Darren. I was going to say it's very important that you know where the counterattack's going to happen and deal with it efficiently, at least meet it somewhere in the field. But Darren didn't really have too many mines on the map, but the scans are really on point here. Another great scan on the army. She knows exactly where it is, and she'll be able to counter it. She's only picked off one base of Bohai, but it's great. I mean, just dealing with that base, pushing that back, and she's got her own base here at the center right still. She's still growing. She's going to have +3 here very, very soon. I'm curious to see where this Arbiter will go, though, and how the recall is going to happen. I think she's going to try and hit the center right base. There's a lot of turrets there. Can it actually get off here? Here we go.
Artosis would say it definitely can get off. Like 9 turrets wouldn't be enough. Does manage to get a recall off. There's only like 6 or so goons and the rest are zealots, but that's just barely enough dragoons to cause a little bit of a headache. But I don't think maybe enough to kill this command center, but only if Darren chooses not to repair it. I think Farley now going to be starting to spam repair that. Will be able to save this command center, unfortunately. But yeah, a pretty good maneuver. Could have worked, I think, but not quite enough dragoons to get the job done. Some mines detonating, but not really getting any surface area on those SCVs, so not really any economic damage here either. So overall, this is going really well for Darren still, and looking really formidable is Darren as she even takes the natural third of Bohai. So I think she's got her plans for taking over this northeast quadrant very soon, and not really concerning herself with her expansion efforts anywhere else but towards the enemy.
Can you hope to actually mine off of that? I think not. There's going to be storms on that high ground, 100%. Now moving forward here, she's still got to be careful. You know, you can't run straight up to the Protoss army and try to siege. You're going to lose way too much. She is going to cut off this probe transfer so that probes can't get out of the main and natural here, which is going to be annoying for Bohai. She's going to lose a lot of probes there. Darren spreading out very wide towards the top. This is going to be the opportunity for Bohai. The opportunity she's been waiting for. She is already... Oh, great snipe on the shuttle, though. She's been waiting for the Terran army to kind of spread out a little bit to abandon, its really turtled position and put itself into a precarious situation, which Bohai can actually start to take advantage of. And maybe this is that moment. Another recall going to come through as Darren pushes northward. She doesn't have too many forces to come and deal with this, but she's already sending back her tank count. Here comes that recall, but tanks are already here with the vultures to start to deal with this. Really, really good responses by Darren, and this is going to get shut down super quick, even quicker than before.
Darren's really outclassing by Bohai in this game. I think these tanks will get mopped up by Bohai here for the time being, but yeah, eventually, though, the writing's on the wall. Darren will come in here and just absolutely obliterate Bohai. So I think that Darren's done a real stellar job of being really active, keeping her tank spread, actively scouting for the Protoss army. She's done a lot of things here that a lot of Terran players could to prove in their own gameplay. And the beautiful High Templar snipes now trying to seal the deal as well. An Archon being made in desperation by Bohai. Now 135 supply to 170 of Darren. So Darren looking pretty much unbeatable at this stage of the game. 3-2 upgrades now active. 21 minutes into the game. I don't think there's a way for the Protoss player from stabilizing here. Anything can still happen. It's a game of StarCraft. But yeah, I feel like without any blunders here, it's basically Darren's games to lose.
Yeah, Darren does have a base down here at the 6 o'clock. She's mining right out in front of Bohai's base. Looks like this is going to get shut down by a counterattack, but there's still plenty of minerals here over at the 4th and the 3rd base for Darren, and that's really all you need as a Terran player. It's just that 2-base mining, especially once all of the upgrades are complete, and they are now finished. All she needs is just a lot of money for tanks and vultures, and 2-base is going to do her for now. She's breaking in towards the main. We've seen a lot of Terran players kind of throw the game by trying to get up this ramp. I hope she's not going to try and kill the main base here, but setting up a contain at this spot, at this location, and starting to push over and take out other bases is probably going to be the best bet. We've got science vessels here ready to EMP these 2 arbiters that are hiding up in the top corner, gathering that energy. We'll see what Bohai can do with those units, because she absolutely needs recalls to be able to get out. Okay, anyone could have predicted that, but she needs recalls to get that army out of the main base. Look at all that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though, because she's kind of like forcing herself to want to come here and kill this purely because she's suffering the high ground storm on that base. So maybe she will be feeling the pressure to destroy that base sometime soon, rather than just contain it and play a lot safer. She is doing what I thought another thing would be possible, is just coming here with some siege tanks and trying to ward away the high temperatures, but that won't work either. Eventually the storm will still come down here. So interesting game state we're going to be witnessing for the time being, as the artillery of the siege tanks trying to whittle away at some of these gateways in the main base while containing the rally point. But now big counterattack onto the main map here is Bohai trying to hopefully come in from behind and sort of come in and try and pincer attack and see if she can siphon off some of these reinforcing units and pull the tanks back out of position again to open up and maybe sneak out the main.
She's looking for an opportunity here to get out with this Arbiter. Arbiter going to come forward, going to get a recall here on top of this base. It looks like a moment of weakness for Darren, not paying attention to this location, and the army is going to get out here. Maybe killing off this base, maybe getting a few additional storms on this army that's coming to reinforce as well. She also has that stasis, so using that to delay this army just a slight bit. There's the EMP, kind of a worthless EMP there. Actually hit her own Archon as well, not that it matters. And I don't know, maybe Bohai gonna lose this top right. Maybe Darren gonna move towards the top center. Sending her army up here, I think, is a lot better of a choice than trying to clear out that base. And maybe she'll try and take 6 o'clock rather than right out in front of Bohai's natural.
Yeah, look at these beautiful Psionic Storms trying her best to... There's this big clump of tanks. If she just storms these tanks, this could be a beautiful trade. Some Psionic Storms starting to make connections on those tanks as well. And that's a beautiful mop-up for Bohai. Still not really dealing with the overall problem. The supply is still in the favor of Darren, but that's still a big win for Darren. So, eliminating a lot of the tank count of the Terran army right now is huge, and Darren's been reduced just 1 base worth of mining. So if she can somehow keep this denial of mining at the 6 o'clock for some time, maybe now there's a little bit of life in this game for Bohai. It's still not over yet, but she has way more bases online than Darren right now. If she can somehow just keep Darren either on these 2 bases or come here and counterattack 6 o'clock again, it's going to be a little bit of a trouble for Darren to keep this production going if she can not deal with the rest of these Protoss bases that are kind of scattered around the map right now. I think there's some way that Bohai can put the pressure on and stretch Darren thin here.
Darren gonna get the 6 o'clock. Unfortunately, she allowed Bohai to snag bottom left, and she's starting to throw down gateways down there as well. So that's not a good situation. We do not want to allow Protoss to take 3 quadrants of the map. It's a very rough situation, an untenable situation, and probes are being transferred down there, so she's going to have that economy as well. Darren neglecting that area of the map is really going to end up regretting it here if Bohai wins this game. Darren starting to move southward, starting to spread out towards that area. It's starting to look like one of those games where we split the map in half, and that could be a pretty interesting situation. We don't have an EMP here. There's going to be a huge stasis, maybe storm on top of all these tanks. Tanks not sieged up. in this army. Darren had the supply to maybe fight this, but this is such a haphazard defense here that Bohai's just going to easily break through, and I feel like Darren's just falling apart at the 11th hour here, and SCVs are going to die in mass numbers now. D-Matrix going down, but Darren just doesn't have the army to actually fight this back, and Bohai's going to kill the CC. She's going to kill all these SCVs, and this game is flipped on its head.
Wow, really well played from Bohai, and I wonder why the win rates between these two players is what it is. It seems like even when in a bad situation, Bohai can still manage to finesse her way into an advantageous one. So yeah, really showing her class here in this game. Taking the high ground ridge as well, getting on top of these tanks. These two vessels will probably die as well. Looks like Bohai starting to really push the nails into the coffin of Darien right now. Darien going to be feeling the pressure. Desperate D-Matrix, but it's not going to matter. GG finally called. Another point, evening things out on the board here for Team Royal 2-all, I think, Saiyan.
All right, nothing else to say there. Goddamn. Darren, that's the plight of Terran, right? Like, once the game gets that big, it's so hard to move your army and like cover all the positions and try to take a 5th and 6th base that they're really far away and really hard to defend. Yeah, it's tough.
It's really tough, man.
Everything was going so well. Everything was going so well. Falling apart. Are you ready to go into the next one, or you want a little break?
I need a bio break. I won't be long though. I just need to take I won't be long. A couple of minutes. I'll take a vape and a quick, like 2-3 or so.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, 2-3 break. Hey man.
Hey.
How we doing?
Good. Holy crap. That one video just popped off so fucking much. It's insane.
Yeah, the game lasted a lot longer than I thought it would, but that's crazy game flip.
Yeah. The video that I made, the StarCraft 2 and Brood War video, it's got almost 1,000 comments. What the fuck? That's more than I've ever had.
I guess the SC2 players are a lot more
Active.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of comments, man. And what are we at now? 55k views. Holy shit. That's fucking wild.
I guess you could also argue that the demographic is slightly younger for SC2, so they're like more likely to be like interactive with the media. Like, you know, whereas like the boomer generations, the older generations of Broodal, maybe not as much and not as interactive.
Are you calling me a boomer?
Yeah, I'm calling you a boomer.
Okay, boomer.
Okay.
90s kids.
90s kids. Yeah, I'm 91. What about you?
Same.
There you go. Close enough. Not quite, but close enough.
Close enough.
Close enough.
We were in that like real what's it called? Like what do you call it? Impressionable time in our lives, like 13, 14, when all the, you know, when StarCraft was really blowing up and having all the big tournaments and stuff. Fucking Boxer and Flash was just starting out.
I mean, yeah, the first you even saw of Flash was like some of his cheesy games that he would have. Like, there was one game he had, I think it was against Bisu on Monty Hall. I think Flash was in the top left and Bisu was in the top right. He did the trick where he hopped over the SEV to take the gas and then use that to mine out the wall by trading the mineral blocks for gas. Like really ingenious strategies as well, and really great execution. It's really exciting times to see these players play, and as like you say, impressionable kids. Like that was just like gold dust to us seeing those kinds of plays. Almost like gave you like nerd shivers, you
know. Exactly. Yeah, and it just leaves a lasting mark on your psyche, and like your memory, your nostalgia has been kind of set. Good times, good times. All right, let's see here. Who we got next? We've got Speed versus Stork. All right, let's find out how to do carriers on Apocalypse.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Team Royal gonna send out Speed here, or is Team Snow gonna send out their first pick, Stork, who spawned in the bottom left of Apocalypse. I'm gonna see how to use carriers on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really interesting to see the Dino Protoss himself finally coming out with his fleet of carriers on this map. I'm not too sure how good carriers can be on this map, but there is some terrain to exploit. With these high ground peninsulas, I'm not sure if maybe that give a little bit more of an edge to the carriers as well. A little bit of a geometry to maneuver around on these outer rings of the peninsulas with the little swampy water patches. So maybe carriers could get something done here, especially go around the edges of the map. But these spawns as well, maybe there is a little bit of life here for carriers with the high ground behind this natural expansion being very easily exploitable if he does eventually get up there with his carriers.
That's true. You do have to skirt around the outside of this map. There's such a massive center, though. It does make it hard if you want to go to the other side. So mass expanding here for speed, expanding on a bunch of bases over on the far right of the map and just defending them with a few units, a few mines and the like. Probably going to be very strong if a carrier play does come through. Stork is capable of doing other things. I was just kind of joking there at the beginning that we're going to see a carrier play here because he does love to go for that carrier play very often. He is capable of doing other plays though, so got to give him credit where it's due. Cybernetics core coming down here and a factory being started. Everything looking very, very normal for both sides. And that's going to be fine for Speed. He hasn't had to deal with any pressure here in the early game. Speed, aka 10-minute flash, aka sexy, is an interesting guy, but I think he's a great matchup for Stork. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's very, very talented. Like his name suggests, like he's basically saying he can play as good as Flash, but only for 10 minutes of the game, not able to do that sort of late game craziness that magician himself can execute, but still thinks that he can handle the early game that Flash can, having these really intense optimizations and build order executions that Flash is known for. So yeah, kind of thinks highly of himself, and he needs that kind of a ego and arrogance against the likes of Stork, a player of like real repute, and I think if anyone can do it, it's definitely him. Stork is nowhere near as good as he once was, and Speed is a good enough player here, but I like the Stork's odds overall, I would say, and I do have a little bit of bias towards him.
Well, I'll be cheering for Speed here because we're already 3-1 for Team Snow. We won't get a longer series if we end up getting 5 wins or 4 wins on the board. So hopefully that doesn't, if we get 5 wins on the board for Team Snow, hopefully that doesn't happen. But Speed, he's going to send his first Vulture in here. It's actually going to slip right by this Dragoon. So getting into the main base, that's already a great start. See how many probes he can get here. He's going to get 1 right off the bat. Nice targeting there. He gets 2. There is no space to maneuver here behind the mineral patches, but he gets 4 probes total. That is a great way to begin this match. And looks like Stork's forgotten to throw his probes back on that gas geyser, so he might miss out on some of this mining income. There we go, finally righting the wrongs here. But Speed getting away with a lot. He's got the bunker here. He's only going to have to repair it with 1 SCV, and he's already done a bunch of damage, so I'm really loving his position.
Yeah, I mean, and like you say, Stork's going to be down like 100, 200 gas as well, so it's going to limit his tech timings a little bit as well going forward. Just slowing down Stork in every possible way is going to be a little bit of a boon him, and Stork can't afford this early greedy third that he wants to take as well. It's possible he maybe deliberately Oh, look at this coming in though. Getting the snipe on this tank is beautiful from Snork. Even with the 33 goons, he needs to be careful. He loses one of those Dragoons. The other one is on red HP, softened up, ready to be eliminated. But that's a really nice pickup from Stork, trading 1 Dragoon for that tank. Does need to be careful losing 2 Dragoons for it. Wouldn't have been the bestest of trades. Still going to be worthwhile to do it, but overall, a little bit of a win for him. I do like Speed's position more going forward, but it is something that Stork has been able to kind of even things out just a tiny bit here.
Yeah, and I can see that Speed is still building Marines here. It's indicative of an upcoming push. He hasn't taken any damage on his Marines, so that's something to consider as well. These Marines are going to be able to body block and hold back the Dragoons, be a bit of a meat shield, and throw down some DPS there at the front. But Stork does not have too many Dragoons. I mean, it would be a lot stronger if there was 1 more tank here. But Stork, he does not have a lot on the defense. He just got these 3 Dragoons, very spread out, trying to prevent Vultures from slipping by. This Vulture is going to slip by, though, here on the left side. Start to lay down mines behind this. Oh, he does manage to pick that off, and he stops the Vulture. However, Speed going to get up on this high ground, and this can be really hard to stop. With the Terran player on this high ground, he's going to start to lay down mines here. He's going to push the Dragoons into an awkward position over on the right-hand side here. I think if he just moves southward and lets the mines do the damage to these dragoons, he's going to be able to take a good fight with just 2 dragoons on the left-hand side. Throwing down mines here at the front is going to be amazing as well. Sending over the observer towards the right-hand side here so he can get these dragoons back into this battle. He can get rid of the mines and bring these out to fight. Getting in with the vultures here on top of everything. He's going to drop mines on this. And I think Stork is just about dead right now. He's going to lose so many probes in the main base. He's going to lose a ton of probes here at the natural, and the vulture rallies coming across the map are going to make things really, really difficult for Stork.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost so many probes there, and currently supplies are even as well, which is favoring speed for sure. He's going to be cleaning up these tanks for free, though, so that's something here. Maybe if he doesn't lose any further pros, he would be able to stabilize his position. There's a vulture now, though, coming into the third base location. Beautiful forge, going to be delaying that from coming in here and killing off the remainder of the pros. But yeah, it looks like he's still going to lose pretty much all of these probes here to this vulture. So Speed doing a good job of keeping the damage on Stork and preventing any kind of like lifeline for him coming forward and, you know, stabilizing the position. So I think so far it looks pretty Speed favored, and I have no idea how Stork's going to finesse his way into a strong finale here and somehow maybe transition into a 3 or 4 base carrier play later on. But honestly, I feel like if Stork can somehow slow down Speed and keep it going to a mid to late game transition, maybe actually Stork can win the game. He is a more experienced player than Speed. But I think for the time being, it's looking like Speed's just going to roll over him.
Speed, it appears, is going to drop a bunch more factories and try to end this game right now. He knows that Stork is probably, rebuilding a lot of these earlier lost probes. He's got quite a few dragoons out, but he doesn't have the next stages of tech. He does not have a huge gateway count in order to just pump out a ton of zealots. So maybe if he comes through with this big attack, Stork will not be able to hold it off. He is going for a Reaver, however. Reaver, a great tool for stopping an attack like this. And it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be tough. Okay, here comes a Starport, actually. Starport has been thrown down, so maybe I jumped the gun here, and Speed is actually going to try and take a third base and just turtle up.
Yeah, it's looking like that might be the case. Interestingly enough, though, maybe that's not the worst choice, though. He is pretty comfortable with the economic damage he did to Stork, and maybe he feels confident just going into a normal macro game from here and not really trying to give a counterweight potential for Stork to flip the table in by botching his move out. It is very possible for an attack to go wrong for Terran, so maybe you didn't want to really worry about that and instead try and guarantee as much of an advantage as possible going into the mid to late game.
Yeah, that, I mean, you can botch an attack at any time as Terran, and you can end up throwing the game to the Protoss, even in the very latest stages of the game, as we just saw with Darin there against Bohai. But the harassment coming from Stork, much less effective so far than what has come out of Speed. Speed's done so much economic damage, and all that Stork's been able to do here so far is just prevent this command center from being built on location, and that's not even much damage at all because he just started that command center. He's just going to cancel and start it somewhere else, and he should be fine. Speed has double upgrades rolling here, and he's going to be getting that third base up momentarily.
Yeah, Stork took his 4th base timing at like 10 minutes 33, which is kind of indicative of how slow he is in this game right now. 10 minutes is like the standard latest timing, and like 9 is a bit more greedy, so really late on the timings of these expansions as well. Beautiful pickup on the scarabs on these tanks, though, taking away some of the power out of the Terran by sniping 2 of these tanks quite efficiently with that Reaver. So that's a little bit of a small victory for Stork to try and delay the timing of this move out or third base location. But we have looks like a drop ship or something on the 9 o'clock position now, starting to move into the main base of the Protoss player, seeing if he can find some more damage here in Stork's base.
Now let's see if this is a tank or just 4 vultures. I'm thinking just 4 vultures, but maybe a tank drop back here could be strong. Yeah, 4 vultures here. All of them focusing on that cannon, unfortunately, so not dealing any probe damage, but will force the probes away for now, at least, and he's going to keep this as a bit of a threat. Maybe try to get it over here to the natural, maybe go for the third, see what kind of damage he can do there. More cannons being set up by Stork. He's dealing with this reasonably well, and at the same time, diving here into the main base. There's quite a few mines here, but he's going to drop this these two Reavers in an undefended position here. No mines at that location, and he could get huge hits on these SCVs. 9 kills on this already, and dropping once again. Oh, the mine connection, though. Dealing so much damage. Another mine going to go off here. He does pick up in time to save that. Still has the two Reavers, but did do a little bit of counter damage here with that drop.
Wow, the Reavers were in the hot coals there for a second. Then he blowing up to that spider mine. Good reaction speed from Stork to not lose that to that mine. So far, though, Stork doing a good job of kind of putting the pressure on, stretching speed a little bit thin, trying to delay this third timing as much as possible, while also coming back in this game. Reaver now in the way, all in the way in the back of the base, trying to snipe some of these depots, causing as much of a headache to speed as possible. He will just move over a couple of these tanks, but needs to be careful though not to lose this. Reaver did kind of like glitch out the shuttle a little bit, trying to pick that up because it's right on the top hex of the map, so sometimes that can glitch out the air unit trying to scoop that up, so you need a little bit be careful there. So far, it looks like Stork has done a really good job of kind of coming back into this game, but now there's another drop in the natural expansion, causing absolute havoc on the mineral line, taking out at least 3 or 4 probes here before can even react to it. So far, Speed in quite a commanding position, ripping apart the economic and infrastructure of Stork in this game. Stork does manage to catch that dropship before he was able to get away, but so far it's still looking very Speed favored.
Yeah, you were saying earlier that the third or the fourth base here of Stork was a bit late, but he also managed to delay that third for quite a while. We saw it go down there for Speed at about the 12-minute 30 mark, which is a bit late for third base for Terran. And he does have a great position here, so I think that if Stork tries to break him right now, he may end up losing a lot more than he expects to. There's quite a few tanks here. Great storm to start things off. There's not a whole lot of mines here on the right-hand side. He might have found a chink in the armor here of Speed because he's got so many mines on the left-hand side, but this small ramp was not that well defended. Getting right in here, he's going to throw down some more storms. Dragoons are starting to die, but a reinforcement line of Zealot's actually going to make its way forward here, and he gets a big storm on the SCVs. Most of the army here for Speed is actually on the left-hand side, so jumping on top of the reinforcements here, Stork actually starting to tear this Terran player apart, and he's dropped down below 90 supply, or below 100 supply here. May end up losing this. Dropping an Archon on top of a tank, you rarely ever see it, but there it is. He's going to go to work on the SCVs with that Archon now, and he's going to kill the natural expansion as well. Oh, meanwhile, two tank drop, down here at the bottom right, but I don't think that's going to match the damage that Stork's doing right now.
Yeah, Stalker's definitely all over him right now. He's in big trouble, down to 70 supply. Really beautiful stuff. I don't know how Stork does it. He just shows such experience. Seeing the weakness. Like, it seemed like there was such a formidable position for him to worry about, but I guess most of the supply was in SCVs, and there just wasn't barely enough units to hold on that eastern front as he just barreled in like that. Really great play from Stork there, seeing that just one moment of weakness just before the Terran could stabilize his position and start to max out. Really great play from Stork, showing his absolute class here. Also delaying mining at this third base while also having killed the natural expansion, really shutting down the infrastructure and production capabilities of the Terran player. Looking really strong in this game with his 4 bases left more or less unscathed.
I want to see the kills on this Archon. I think it's got a lot. We're going to get the click there. Almost gets that last tank as well. Pretty nice Archon there. Really killing the economy of Speed. He's got no natural expansion. He's got 68 supply here. He is dead in the water. Speed is a zombie right now moving forward in this game.
Yeah, I don't know how he's going to recover here. There is some High Templar snipes from the lagging tech units of Stork being exploited, but as long as there's no real miss micro here, I think he still will get the job done The Vultures are causing a little bit of havoc at the 4th base location. Going to be gunning down a few of these probes, their fragmentation grenades. But now here comes Stork rolling a beautiful mind drag into those tanks, eliminating both of them. And GG finally called from speed 5 to 1 on the board will be coming up if they're not careful here. So far, 4 points on the board for Snow, taking it to match point.
불리한 게임을 이렇게 스무스하게 역전했습니다.
Oh boy. Motivation. Motive. He's probably gonna steal it, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, it's so rough. It's so rough for Team Royal, man. Team Royal's just been getting stomped. I can't believe only Shuttle's the only person who managed to get a game. Oh man. It's so tough. It's gonna be Beast versus Motive. Oh god. I'm just gonna take a quick pee. I'll be right back.
All right, man. Sounds good. Be right back a second. Hey man, you there? Hey man.
Yo. Hello.
Yo.
Oh, what's going on?
What's going on?
Okay.
자, KCM 팀 최강전 하반기 개막전에 이제 끝이 될 수도 있는 6세트가 시작이 됐습니다. 4세트 스코어 4대 1로
Alright, Beast versus Motivation. I've been watching Motive for quite some time now, featuring some of his PVZ on the channel, some of his replays from the ladder. He's an impressive guy. He is improving a lot, has a kind of a different style, but he is very, very strong, and I'm looking forward to seeing his performance here against Beast. Looks like we're going to be taking an early Nexus here on high ground, as expected. I believe that Beast will be looking for a 12 hatch as well. It's common on this map to actually take another natural as well as the Zerg player. So we'll see if Beast is interested in doing that, or if he just wants to play a little bit more normal, try to take the center left instead.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he elects to do with that. And so far, he's sent out this early probe scout, which is indicative of wanting to go for a forge fast expand. May even, if he scouted the Zerg, would try and get this Nexus first, but since he didn't scout the Zerg first, we'll be just throwing down the Forge to be safe here.
Forge on high ground here, very, very safe. He should be able to scout here. With 2 probes out on the map, he will find Beast pretty darn quick, and he's going to figure out that it is an overpull. He may even be able to block this hatchery here, possibly. Yeah, he sees it. He tries to block. Instead, going to go into the main base just to make sure that there's no links coming right away.
Yeah, going to be seeing the exact timing of when those links are made and how many eggs are popping, but we'll not know exactly for sure if they're drones or lings until they do hatch, so he needs to keep this probe around to check and confirm for that. It's going to be throwing down the Nexus before making a cannon. As long as he makes the cannon when the lings are on their way from the eggs, he will be fine, so he'll be timing this out just about perfectly. As the cannon goes down, the lings are hatching out the egg, and it will finish in time as a result.
Yeah, he's trying to block here just slightly with the probe as well. You're going to see him hit stop on that probe a couple of times. Oh, the lings are actually heading in the wrong direction, so he doesn't even know where the Protoss player is right now, which makes this a lot easier to hold off. He's already got the gateway here. He's got a nice little wall, and he's got the cannon. So he is going to be fine transferring probes here and getting into position. Oh, look at that timing. The cannon just finishing up.
Yeah, it pretty much lines up just about perfect depending on the rush distance of the map. And with a little bit of a probe block as well, going to be guaranteeing that safety as well. Throwing on some drones onto that gas. Now is Beast trying to get that tech rolling while some links, seeing if they can skirt in to try and find something done, but Motive here not going to be allowing for that. Has 3 probes pulled off the line, taking this very seriously. Doesn't want to allow any chance of being busted open here. There is a small chance that some additional lings were made. He could come in here and try and overpower this cannon early on, and he did not want to allow that to be a potential here. And even just 6 lings can overpower this 1 cannon alone, so needs to have at least a couple of probes pulled.
Yeah, and now sending them back to work as he sees the probe out here on the map being chased. And look at this, Shun. Beast gonna go ahead and take that natural. Exactly as expected. This is a great way to play on this map. I love it. I want to see a nice turtled Zerg play going into Hive here on Tempest. And we'll see how Motivation decides to deal with that.
Yeah, I think Turtle Zerg would be great on this map, especially with how defendable these high ground expansions are. It's absolutely insane. The potential value is astronomical, so I would really like to see a Turtle Zerg start here from here. Maybe even reminiscent of something Lava would go for, probably. Would be really great against Motive.
Yeah, for sure. And Motive gonna grab a Stargate. He will find out about this eventually, especially with this probe getting over here to the center left. You don't see a base there. You're kind of gonna assume that he's taking the top left, and that's gonna change his whole game plan. What does he want to go for from here? We've seen people play Reaver Corsair style against this. We've seen people play regular against this. We've seen a lot of different moves here to try and pull apart a Zerg player who's turtling. The one I've seen most successful is Reaver play to just kind of break from the low ground. He set up a bunch of army on the low ground and just start shooting Reaver shots up onto the high ground, killing off those exposed sunken colonies and going from there. But we'll see what Motive decides to go for here. He's gone for double Hydralist, and what? Okay, we're gonna have a Hydra bust here with a very quick range and speed being researched here at the same time. What a twist.
Yeah, and if this Corsair doesn't come over to this third base location to confirm that for quite some time, it might completely catch Motive off guard here. There is a Speedlings ready at the gates as well to deny any Zealots coming out onto the map, and also put a little bit of pressure on here once the Hydras also are ready to roll in as well. So yeah, so far looking a little bit deadly here, and Motive's just happy to shoot away with these neutron flares on these Overlords. Not really going to be checking this third base location for quite some time, so we'll not be able to confirm this tech, and at least 2 of these Overlords are going to go down. I think he's done this on purpose. You see these 2 Overlords that are straggling over to this third base. I think he wants him to find this other Overlord as well, so he spends all this time shooting Overlords rather than scouting this third base. But the Corsairs are actually going to go around, and maybe he's not going to check it, Saiyan.
This build is so weird. From Best, did you see, or from Beast, did you see that there's a Spire in the main as well? What is going on? He's gone Spire and he's trying to get into a Hydralist bust. So he's gonna try and just force all of these back. He's building Mutas? What the hell am I looking at right now? We've got 3 Mutas here, Shun.
Yeah, this is crazy. I think he's just going to build like 4 to 5 Mutas, put a little bit of pressure on, maybe threaten like and make it look like this Ogre Zerg style, but really it's just a massive Hydra build that's going to be hitting the natural. He will be using these Mutas, I guess, to cause as much damage to the Zealots as possible as well, softening those up. But that won't really matter too much because they will recharge their shields. But what he's really trying to do is sell the ticket to Motive here that this is definitely not going to be a double Den Hydra bust. If that's what he's going to go for, tries to get on top of the Corsairs with those 4 Scourge, can take out 2 of these Corsairs in quick succession. Now going to be starting to pump out these Hydras as much as he is able to do so. There is 2 counts, like a beautiful connection on one of those Corsairs, so not able to get 2 though, so still 4 Corsairs remaining. Is forced to split the Mutas as a result. You do need quite a substantial amount of Mutas to beat 4 Corsairs, so we'll be having to retreat, and now the Corsairs can come in and confirm the tech of the Hydras. I don't know why Beast was flying the Mutas in the path of those Hydras, because he's just shown his hand to him a little bit too soon there, I would say.
You know how they say that there's like a fine line between genius and insanity? I think that Beast may have stepped over that line here into insanity. This build makes no sense. We've got cannons being built here on the high ground. We've got Zealot speed. Motive is in quite a bit of trouble here with all of these Hydras trying to come up, but this is high ground. The Hydras are going to miss quite a bit of their shots onto the cannons and the Zealots as well, and The Corsairs are going to come through. They're going to kill the Overlord. That means a single DT can hold this all off. I think Motive's going to keep this alive. He's going to win this game.
Wow, he's looking like he might be able to do that. Yeah, if he can somehow stabilize, there's more and more cannons being thrown down here. I think that there's a lot of Overlords are going down as well. So right now, not even able to produce Hydras. So what you see is what you get. There is still a substantial amount of Hydras on the low ground, but now with the DT coming out, it's going to basically stabilize completely. And without any detection, going to be forced to tap out. GG is called, and that's going to be a 5-1 victory for Team Snow. This is crazy, Saiyan.
I'm so curious who thought that build up on Team Royal. Was it Beast himself or somebody else, one of his training partners? I'm not sure, but died in the crib there. That crazy build that came out of nowhere ends up losing Team Royal this series. That was match point, and Team Snow going to advance. Team Royal just not having a good season whatsoever, being knocked out again in the first round of this tournament.
Damn. Hey, give me like literally just a minute.
Okay.
While you get prepared for your wrap up. One second.
Sure.
All right, man, I'm back.
All right. All right, you got anything to say for this wrap up?
Damn, I was distracted by what I was just doing, so I wasn't thinking about it. I'm kind of shocked by how much one-sided that was, but it is what it is.
I'm shocked that only Shuttle managed to take a game.
Yeah, Shadow.
He's gonna be complaining like, "Come on, guys, what the hell?"
Yeah. I do everything.
Meanwhile, in every what is it? The daily pro leagues, he's always the clown. Yeah, he's the one who can never take any games.
Yeah, it's the role reversal. I mean, clowning on his teammates.
Now he's gonna be complaining. Oh, my team's so shit. He's like that bad League player. That League of Legends player who always blames his teammates.
Yeah. And there's so many of those. Alright, what do you want to say?
Alright. Yeah, not much more than that, I guess. Next round is Team Beast versus Team Queen. What does that matchup look like? Let me just pull it up here. That should be pretty good. I mean, that's gonna be Queens with Zealot and YSC and Barracks. You know, Barracks is number 1 on the ladder right now with 2,900 MMR. He's pretty high up there. Bisu Mini, of course. It's always fun. Mighty. That full-on Protoss squad. I guess we can comment that the first Protoss squad managed to get through, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a full Protoss squad for Team Snow
Right.
and Team Bisu. I mean, we could have that second round, or we could have that round of 4. Protoss versus Protoss squad, right? That's possible if Bisu makes it through. Team Bisu.
Yeah. That'd be kind of crazy. I hope you like PvP.
Yeah. Not really, but it'll be all right. Or sure we'll make it through.
Yeah, it'd be right if it comes to that. I would like to see Queen
All right.
Snow, but we'll see.
I guess we got some stuff to talk about. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Well, a disappointing result here for Team Royal. This first round ended up getting knocked out. I'm surprised that only Shuttle managed to take a win.
Yeah, he's basically like flipping the roles there instead of being the clowning on his team, being like, "Come on, guys, what you doing?"
Yeah, no, his team letting him down instead of the other way around. It's pretty funny. Well, Team Snow manages to advance. That's the full Protoss team. And next round, we've got Team Bisu versus Team Queen. So another full Protoss lineup in Team Bisu. We could end up seeing a round of 4 with all Protoss.
It'd be kind of crazy to see that. I wouldn't have thought it, but yeah, we might have that, and PvP can be for some very interesting games. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's very technical, and could be interesting to see if Bisu and Snow end up having to fight each other. I would like to see a PvP between them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But first, they have to get through Team Queen, which Queen, he picked a lot of kind of ladder warriors for his squad. We've got Zealot in there. We've got Barracks, who's currently number 1 on the ladder with 2,900 points. YSC, of course, in there as well. And gotta mention Toss Girl on Team Queen as well. That's pretty much a free win on its own.
Yeah, I would love to see Toss Girl's performance when we do get to see that lineup. To be honest, saying she's been like one of the oldest female names in StarCraft, and to see her still in the scene after all this time is actually kind of crazy to think about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to her matchup versus Bora. That's going to be a TVT. We'll see how these players decide to match up here coming on Wednesday. Whether we're going to see another team leader versus team leader at the beginning, it's going to be Bisu or probably Mini versus Queen. Either one's going to be a great match. All right, and that's it for this week of K.
Sorry, my bad.
All right, that's all right, and that's it for this. Okay, well, that's it for day 9 of the KCM, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to head into the description, give some love to both KCM and Shun on their channels, as well as a like, and put your comment down below. Who do you think is going to win next week with Team Bisu versus Team Queen? Give your predictions, and we'll see you in that video.
Nice.
Okay. Well, we've got a lot of things to do for editing, but it'll be fine. Got a bit of a job.
Bit of a job.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, it was a good cast.
Yeah.
Not the greatest matches. It is what it is.
Mm.
I've got something for you. You need to watch. Have you seen Artosis? One of his latest videos where he talks about the statistics for all of the ASL games.
No, link it to me and I'll check it out though.
It's amazing. You gotta see it. It's like, what's it called? It's required reading for casting.
Yeah,
You need to know.
Yeah, link it to me. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
All right, man.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna go get some food. I'm super hungry now.
Go for it. Go for it. A good cast,
All
my
right.
guy. We have some. I have to say that there's certain things we do really good with setups. Like there's a lot of times where we'll talk for a decent amount of time, but we're setting each other up for things. It's good.
Yeah, we're getting better. We're improving, man. It's awesome. And sorry about the confusion this morning.
Yeah, I was so weirded out by that. I was like, "What does he mean?" I was like so confused. Yeah, but it's all
Yeah,
good.
I was the same. Oh, like, why is he being passive aggressive? Like, what's going on? But you're actually being serious.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're early. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Both of our attitudes confused each other because of the Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, it's typical with text conversation. That's why I never talk about. I have a rule. I never talk about anything serious with a girl if it's over text. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh god.
if things are getting like heated at all, or if there's any like animosity, I'm just like, just call me right now. I'm not gonna respond to your text until you call me.
It's just because you can interpret like the same thing 10 different ways, or at least,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people use sarcasm in their texts when they're angry, and like the other person just doesn't pick up on it at all, and then it makes it worse.
The text is the
Yeah.
worst because you can't really read into it because you can't really like figure out if they meant something a certain way, and it's just it's too much of a minefield to navigate. It's better just to like hear each other's voices and be more sure of the tonality and of things and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I figured that out at like 25 years old. I was like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. No more texts with girls. Like, no, you can text like regular conversation, but as soon as things start to get heated, it's
Right. Yeah. As soon as there's any like deep
just fucking call
emotions
me.
or like animosity or anything, like you gotta resolve that in a call for sure.
Yeah, I just tell them like, I don't discuss deep topics, or like I don't have serious discussions in
Good
text.
boundary.
It doesn't work.
Good boundary, my guy. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, it's a good rule to have. That would be my tip for any young kids out there.
That's a good tip, Sam, I have to say.
All right. All right, I'm gonna go eat something. I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good, buddy. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Peace. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take it easy, guys. Catch you on the flip.